Okay guys, it's time for another ranking video. Now, this time I'm going to be ranking every single Star Ocean character in the Star Ocean series, with the exception of the phone game, because fuck the phone game, I'm pretending that it doesn't exist. So I'm talking about Star Ocean 1 to 6. The mainline games. I guess you can count Blue Sphere, but all the Blue Sphere characters are in Star Ocean 2 anyway, so yeah, these are going to be all the playable characters. I might include Relia, I guess. I don't know, but as I say, like, what's there is what's there. So basically, here's the agenda here, because as you can see, I'm not using like generic tiers. I want to explain this because there's different rankings. You have the best, which are the bad motherfuckers of the game. They have a tier of their own because, well, they're bad motherfuckers. You have the awesome tier for characters that are pretty awesome, that I really like a lot. You have the good characters for characters that I like, but as I say, I don't really like them as much as awesome tier, basically. That makes sense. Okay is for characters that are just kind of, they're alright. I don't really have an issue with them. They're okay. Lame is for characters that I just think are kind of, well, lame. I just think that they could have been so much better and they ended up being shit. Speaking of shit, there's a tier for that as well. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, there's also a tier called worth less than shit. Now, this is for a very special character. A character that you know who it is if you've played the Star Ocean series, but this special character has a tier of their own, so I'm going to have this tier for them. Anyways, let's get started with the first character that we can put on the list, and that is Adre. Now, Adre is one of the more forgettable characters of Star Ocean 3. Like, I sometimes forget that he even exists in the game because he's barely even relevant. I mean, he's just kind of there. That's basically it. His entire gimmick is trying to marry his daughter off to people. That's pretty much his whole gimmick, and he's got big muscles, but he never uses them because he's a caster character, which is kind of weird because he has a fucking katana. Look at that. He has a fucking katana. But, yeah, caster characters in Star Ocean games suck. So, there's not really much going for Adre, really, other than the fact that he has big muscles, but so does Cliff, so, yeah, I'd put him in lame tier. I think he's pretty lame. Albert, on the other hand, is actually pretty good in combat. And, you know, he might not have the most likable personality, but he's still a well-written character nonetheless, and I think that he's still an interesting enough character to put on good tier because I think he's a good character. I just think that obviously, like, his personality is not a nice personality to have, but that's part of what makes him so likable as a character. But he's great in combat, great in storyline and characterization, so good tier. Albel is kind of the resident edgelord of the game. I mean, he's kind of unhinged. I mean, everything about him is unhinged. I do think that he's a good character, but I do think that Albel could have been done better. But nevertheless, I do think he's good. In battle, he's alright. I mean, I think that there's better characters than Albel, but I think he's alright. I just think he could be so much better, and really, it's kind of sad that he wasn't as good as he should have been, but I still think he's good. Anne is another one of those characters that is just kind of there. I mean, she's supposed to be like Ilya from Star Ocean 1, but she's not as good as Ilya is in Star Ocean 1. She's like what Ilya is to Ronix, but to Emerson, and yeah. The only thing that you can really say about Anne is that she has an obsession with cats, but so does another character in the series that we're going to bring up later on. So it's not really original at this point. I don't think she's a bad character. I mean, you can use her and she's okay, she's fine, but there's nothing really stand out about her, so I'm just going to put her in okay. Now, here's the other resident edgelord, but this is the resident edgelord of Star Ocean 4, and out of all of the fucking edgy characters, this guy is the edgiest character in the Star Ocean series, which is funny because he isn't the one named Edge Maverick. And yet he's in the same game as Edge Maverick. Like, come on, this guy should have been called Edge Maverick. It's the perfect name for him, but no, instead he was called Aranat. So, yeah. I mean, it goes without saying that he's the best character in Star Ocean 4, but that's not saying much, is it? So, yeah, I mean, he's cool, I guess. I mean, he's edgy, so what do you expect? There's going to be a hint of coolness to that, but I think he kind of takes that edginess a bit too far. Like, we're talking Z Warhite levels of edge here, folks. That's how edgy this guy is. He's one of the edgiest characters ever in fiction, and he's so kind of generic about it. Like, just his entire backstory just screams we have to have like the most generic anime edgelord of all time in the game. So I can't really put him at awesome, but I can certainly put him as good, because I do like Aramat and he's the character that I made in Star Ocean 4, because fuck everybody else. Now, here's the thing about Ashley. I don't use Ashley for one reason, and one reason only, because if you use Ashley you can't get Seus. And why would you not want to get Seus? Of course you want to get Seus. Now, if you do get Ashley, I suppose he's alright. He's a likeable character, but you miss out on Seus. So why would you pick Ashley? I mean, you do get some additional moves from Roddick, but they're so hard to get because of the way you learn moves in Star Ocean 1 that I just don't see the point. So, you know, I'm putting him at good tier, but I don't really think that he's awesome tier. I still think he's likable, but I just think Seus is better. Now, Ashton, straight into awesome tier. This needs no explanation. Ashton is one of the more interesting Star Ocean characters. He's great in battle, and he's an interesting character. Like, there's no character quite like Ashton. He's definitely the most standout character in the series, personality-wise, because he's just so unique and just so eccentric that you just can't help but love him. So, yeah. Bacchus, well, kind of like Anne, he's just kind of there. I mean, he's a decent tank in battle. He's another character that I use in Star Ocean 4, just simply because he's good at tanking and crowd control. But there's not really much that can be said about him, because he's just kind of there. So, yeah. Bowman, I like Bowman quite a bit. I think he's good in battle, and, I don't know, he's a likeable character. Is he the best? Well, not necessarily, but is he good? Yes. I'm going to put him at good tier, because I do like Bowman. I mean, he's got some funny bad actions, and he's good in battle. And he's just a likeable dude. Selene, this is going to be a very controversial one. I'm actually putting Selene in lame tier, and the reason why is because of her being absolute shit in battle. Like, man, like, caster characters suck as they are. I mean, they're not really good anyways to begin with, but unlike Leon, who actually has some useful moves, like Grim and Lair, which can hit multiple times, like, she just has, like, a worse moveset in my opinion. I think Leon is a better caster gameplay-wise, but on top of that, I'm not really a big fan of Selene's personality either. I think that she's just kind of selfish and a bit of a twat, so, yeah. So I'm putting her at lame tier. I don't think she's the worst character ever. I don't think she's that bad, but there's just not really much going for her in my opinion, and she's kind of like Adria in that regard. Now Chisato, I'm going to be putting in good tier. Looks like Bowman, she's good in combat and she's got good private actions, although she doesn't have many. She's a likeable character. I mean, as I say, she's good in battle, so that definitely helps. But she's not remarkable, so she's not going to get awesome tier. Now Claude, as I say, he's good in battle, but as a character, I put him as okay. I mean, he's definitely not the most offensive character out there, but, you know, he does get jealous of Diaz, which, yeah. And, yeah, which can be kind of, like, immature, but it is part of his character, and he does kind of, like, obviously have to grow and all of that, so it makes sense that he'd be like that, but I just don't really think too much of him. I don't hate Claude, but I don't particularly think that he's amazing. But he's good enough in battle. I think he deserves to be in okay tier and not lame tier, because I don't think Claude is lame. I just think he's okay. Now Cliff gets awesome tier. Cliff is just straight up awesome. He's great in battle, except when you're fighting enemies that do MP damage, in which case he basically pisses himself. And he's just a cool character in general. I mean, he's got some great one-liners and some great lines in the game, and he's just a funny dude. He's just basically one of the dudes. That's what he is. He's one of the guys. So yeah, he's just that kind of character who's just really chill and relaxed and great to be around. So yeah, he gets an awesome tier. Now Seus, the best tier. Seus is awesome, but he's more than awesome. He's the best because his personality is just fantastic. He's the sort of guy that will always have your back no matter what, but at the same time he's kind of like rude and like crude and doesn't really give a fuck. Like, the guy literally just punches a guy and knocks him into the fucking sea for no reason. Like, seemingly no reason at the very least, and you just don't see it coming. Like, you're just having this casual conversation with this guy, and then just everybody leaves but Seus, and then you just see a scene of Seus just punching him, and he just falls into the freaking sea from the pier. It's just so fucking funny, and it just sums this guy up. Like, he just basically this guy is just pumped up with testosterone and ready to go. Like, that's the best way to describe Seus. He's here for the action. That's what he's here for. Speaking of people who are here for the action, here's another the best ranking character, Diaz Flack. I mean, these two characters are basically cut from the same cloth, really. Like, Diaz is a badass, Seus is a badass. Like, if they ever united, God help us all, because Diaz, well, he kicks ass for a living, and he beat Claude's ass in the tournament because, like, he's just way too damn cool. Like, sure, like, story-wise, you could say that he came close, but if you play the game, you know that Diaz is clearly the superior character because he kills you in like less than 2 seconds with fucking Chaos Sword. So, yeah, unless you run away from him, in which case he'll just chase you the whole fight. And yeah, you can win him technically, but it's not really worth it because every time you beat him, he's just like, oh yeah, you're actually not that bad. But the battle just starts again, you just have to fight him again and again and again until you lose. That's how badass this motherfucker is. And I always pick Reina so that I can get him in the party because he's actually pretty underrated in battle because his air slash can hit from pretty much anywhere. Like, he can use air slash from like all the way across the map. So if the enemy's like on the other side of the map and you're like in the other corner, you can use air slash and you won't walk up to him. There's no run up with air slash, and that's one thing about Star Ocean that people need to acknowledge. The run up is everything, especially in Star Ocean 2. Sure, Chisato has tear gas, but you have to do the run up or the run back to actually set it up. You don't with Diaz. He just uses air slash. Now you could say the same thing about Claude, but Claude's air slash is very slow. Diaz's air slash has a faster velocity, and that makes him the best character in the game, in my opinion. Even if his moves don't have as high combo potential, at least air slash is easy to pull off, and you can also double up with illusion as well. Just a great character all around, and I like playing as him. Dawn, well, he's just kind of there. I mean, he plays him, well, I mean, I mainly played as Rolly, but you know what I mean, like, he's in the party for like very briefly, and then he just leaves the party permanently for the rest of the game. There's really not much to say about him. Edge Maverick is lame. I mean, come on, it's Edge Maverick. This is a guy who's supposed to be the captain of a ship, and he invites fucking lowlies wearing skimpy outfits onto the fucking spaceship. Like, be a responsible adult, and don't bring lowlies on a fucking spaceship. Basically, this guy's running his own fucking madhouse. And, yeah, he also does some particularly questionable things in the game, which leads to him, well, yeah, I think we all know what happens to Edge at that point in the game. Yeah, he's kind of infamous for it. Yeah, he's a bit of an idiot. I think that's the best way to describe him. He is just 200% idiot. That's what Edge is. Now, Elena, the best tier. Elena surprised me. Like, I wasn't expecting Elena to be as good as she was, but she really is one of the best characters in the series. I mean, she's actually a robot character that has the perfect balance. Like, usually you have robot characters that are just completely monotone. I mean, there is a character who is monotone in this series, which we're going to bring up, but thankfully Elena isn't. I think the voice actress for Elena does a really good job at getting that perfect balance of just like having an interesting and not dull voice, while simultaneously not being super emotional all the time, and just kind of like having a voice that is more stoic. And she does a fantastic job at that. I really like the dynamic that she has with Raymond. She's kind of like a mother figure to him, so like you get some interesting scenes with her and private actions and stuff. And in battle, she's pretty good. Like, she fights similar to Cliff in a way, but she has some unique aspects to her because she can, like, bring out a whip, she can bring out a spear, like, she can just change weapons on the fly. Like, she's really unique in so many ways. Like, there's nothing quite like her. It's kind of like playing as Trish in Devil May Cry. That's basically what she's like. If you've ever played Trish in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, you're basically sort of like playing Elena in Star Ocean 6. So yeah, Elena's definitely one of the best. She's fucking awesome. Speaking of which, Emerson is also on the best, because he's definitely the most interesting character in Star Ocean 5. I mean, he's basically a better version of Bowman. That's kind of what he is, but he's also really good in battle because he's got some really powerful long-range skills, which are really handy. And yeah, you can really abuse him. He's just so abusable. But I just like his personality, how he's got like a mix of like really serious aspects to his personality, but at the same time he's also really like, he's also kind of like a ladies' man like Bowman is. But it's like that mix of like both. Like, you don't know whether he's serious or whether he isn't, and he's very unpredictable like that, and that's what kind of makes him an interesting character. And that's what makes him better than Bowman as well, because Bowman isn't as unpredictable as Emerson is, but Emerson, the more you like listen to him and the more you see him in game, the more you like him basically. Now, Ernest, I think he's okay. Now, I know that people hate Ernest in battle, like he's one of the worst characters in Star Ocean 2 combat-wise, but I don't think he's a bad character just for that. I think he's alright. I mean, his design is cool, and he's only got like one bad action on Claude's side that I saw. I mean, there's not really much to say about him other than that he's not brilliant in battle, but I don't think he's as bad as Adre. Like, I think he at least has a cool design, and also his voice acting is funny. Like, I like his voice acting, so yeah. Plus you can steal an item from him, which makes him worth having in the party. Like, I'm gonna put him at OK tier. I don't think Ernest is really that bad. I mean, you've also got to bear in mind that he can be useful in Blue Sphere as well, because you can use the whip to reach certain areas in the game. So if you're judging him just on Star Ocean 2, then I'd understand if you put him on lane, but he has a Blue Sphere character as well, so yeah, I'm putting him at OK. Eris, I don't really have much to say on Eris. She's just, like, I really don't have much to say. I mean, the thing about it is Eris is a first departure exclusive character that you can only get in that game, and honestly, I don't really care to bother getting Eris, because I just don't see the point, personally. But she's there. I mean, I just don't really care. But I'm not going to put her in lane category. She's just okay, I guess. Phase. This is an interesting one. Now, you wouldn't think so because it's Star Ocean 4, but the thing about Phase is I like his dynamic in the game. He is, like, he would have been a really bland character if it wasn't for the dynamic and the role he plays, which actually kind of elevates him a little, but at the same time, like, he's kind of just there for the most part, and, like, I mean, he's kind of one of those characters that I wish I liked more. I wish there was more to him that was likable, but there really isn't, because, like, I mean, he's not a complete idiot like Edge, but at the same time, he's just not super likable like these guys up here. So I'm going to put him at OK tier, kind of like Bacchus. I don't think he's terrible, and I think, like, there is something interesting about him that I'm obviously, you know, not going to really go into, but I think if you played Star Ocean 4, you know what I'm talking about, and I do like that dynamic he has in the game, enough to put him at OK tier. Now Fate, I mean, obviously he's good at fighting, but personality wise he's a bit of a wet blanket. I mean, like, that's the best way to describe Fate. He's a wet blanket. But at the same time, you can't hate him, because let's be honest, if we were in his situation, we would be no different, because, yeah. So I'm just gonna put him in OK tier. I don't think he's an unlikable character, but he's not really a brilliant character either. I mean, it makes sense the reason why he is the way he is in this situation, but at the same time, you know, I can't really say that I absolutely adore him or like think he's one of the best characters in the series. I just think that he's okay. He does the role of protagonist well enough, and he's decent enough in combat. Though I usually replace him for another character, which is also going to be mentioned on the list when they join the party because they are better. Fidel is okay. I think that's the best way to describe him, really. I mean, he kind of has that sort of like make your own character sort of feel to him, in the sense that he isn't completely defined. Like the private actions, I feel, define his character a bit more. Like he has some interesting interactions in his private actions that I feel that people don't give him enough credit for. But other than that, yeah, he is just kind of like a protagonist that's just trying to like look after like Relia and his like stepsister. I don't know what I don't know what he is related to him, but yeah, like his his adopted sister or whatever it is. I don't know, but he's just kind of just like hero archetype that you can like do private actions and he has interesting conversations. I think he's okay. Fiore is one of the fan servicey characters, as you can probably tell, but in terms of personality, I don't think she's that bad. I mean, like, I don't think that she's amazing, but I don't think she's necessarily terrible either. I think she's okay personality-wise. Like, obviously, most people know Fiore for her outfit and all of that lot, but if you take that away and just focus on her personality, really, she's just alright. She's just like a mage who's just like very passionate in her work and all that. There's really not too much to say about her, but you know, she's just okay. Now, Ilya, I'm gonna put in awesome tier. She was my favourite Star Ocean female character for the longest time until Elena came to be, and for good reason, because her personality is interesting, straight up. Like, she likes to drink, and she's kind of a complex character, and she's kind of like terrible at dealing with relationships and stuff. Like, she just feels like very more like well written and complex than like some of the other female characters in the series. So I kind of like Ilya quite a bit. Usually I'll remove her from the party though for another character, but that's just for gameplay reasons because, well, like the other character I like better. But yeah, Joshua, I'm gonna put in okay. I don't really have too much to say on him. I don't think he's a bad character, but as I say, he's the healer character, isn't he? So he's important. I mean, I suppose in a way he's kind of like a foil to Seus, like, whereas Seus is like just pure testosterone, wants to kick ass for a living. He's just kind of like the timid guy who just wants peace and harmony, which, you know, you can't really blame him for it, but at the end of the day, he's not a manly man like Seus, he's just kind of more like the opposite, which is fine. But yeah, I don't think that he's amazing. JJ, on the other hand, is definitely the best character so far on the list, and definitely deserves to be in the best category. He is fucking awesome. I mean, come on. He's a fucking robo-samurai. How can you not love him? Like, his character design and just who he is alone should tell you that he's fucking awesome and that he's like one of the best characters in the series. I mean, a fucking robot samurai. How can you not love that? And he's voiced by Jonathan Pryce, and he has a pretty funny private action, which I never get tired of seeing that private action. But yeah, Leticia, I mean, I don't think that she's like that bad really. I mean, she's probably one of the better of the female like leads, definitely. So, I mean, like, if you're comparing her to Reina, I mean, she's better in battle, in my opinion. And I think that kind of edges her out, in my opinion. I'm probably putting her at good tier. because I do think she's actually decent, and she has some funny PA interactions, so yeah, but I don't think she's amazing, and yeah, I think that she could be a little bit better, but I think she deserves to be in good tier just simply because she's really good in battle and she has some good private actions. Now Leon, here's the thing, Leon is a pain in the ass. Leon is basically that guy who is a total piece of shit. Like, he's just an asshole. That's the best way to describe him. Not in the same way as Albert. Albert is kind of like a guy who isn't too full of himself, but he's very prim and proper and all of that. This guy really is full of himself, and he's kind of like got an ego, and yeah, that's the thing. He's just a fucking 12-year-old, and he brags about how he's like so amazing when he's fucking not. He's just kind of obnoxious, and I don't really like him. But at least he's better than the next character. And next I'm going to go to Malkia, because I'm not even going to talk about that next character, because that next character got the rating she fucking deserved. Monotone, satanic bitch. Fuck you. That's all I have to say about you. Fuck you. I hope you die of fucking cancer. Seriously. Worst character. Anyways, Malkia, I think she's pretty decent. I mean, I think she's a pretty solid character, really. I mean, she's got a fun fighting style. She's got a nice dynamic with Midas, and she's just an interesting character design. I mean, like, look at that character design. It looks like something out of Warriors Orochi. Like, it's kind of nuts. Like, she's just a really interesting character to have in the party as well, because her fighting style it's kind of like Kotaro Fuma in Samurai Warriors, except unlike Kotaro Fuma, she's actually likable, and Kotaro Fuma's a twat like this guy. Although, like, not in the same way, he's just like, Kotaro Fuma's just really annoying and obnoxious. But yeah, I like Malkia. I think she's a good character, and I think that she's got a lot to offer in, like, both story and gameplay, personally. Now Maria is also on the awesome tier because, well, she is the best character in the game in terms of combat for sure. Like, she is just broken, unbelievably broken. She's like the one character that just completely destroys everything, both in gameplay and story. She is overpowered. She's basically literally fucking Goku. The best way to describe Maria, she's like the female version of Goku. Literally, she's just so fucking OP in every aspect. And as a character, I think she's an interesting character. She's an intelligent chick that, you know, very, like, she can be a bit stern at times and a bit insensitive, but she's kind of like, she's got that sort of personality where, you know, she's sometimes insensitive to others, but she's also very smart and intelligent and calculated, and there's something to like about that sort of personality and something to respect about it, so she definitely gets awesome tier. Marielle, well, she's basically Anne's granddaughter, and she's exactly the same as Anne. I'm, like, the thing about Marielle is that, like, she's one of those characters that's like, everybody has to follow the rules. She's one of those characters, like, nobody can have fun. Nobody's allowed to have any fun. Fun is not allowed. And, you know, she's sort of like Maria in terms of combat, but her AI is absolute fucking trash. So bad that I had to remove her from the party. I tried to give her a chance, but I had to remove her from the fucking party. I don't think she's as bad as these four people, though, but I don't think that she is as good as I wanted her to be. I wanted her to be a lot better than she was, but I don't think she's terrible like these four, because she can actually be useful in combat, and it's just that you have to control her if you want her to be useful, and I do think she has some funny private actions as well. So I'm going to put her at OK tier. I just wish she was better. Now, Mavelle, well, she's just kind of there. I mean, Mavelle and Eris are the same people. I'm putting Mavelle a bit higher because, well, she has a unique fighting style, I guess. But, yeah, like, same fucking character, literally. I suppose that's a spoiler, but yeah, like, not much to say about Mavelle, other than her character artwork in First Departure is horrendous. But her character artwork in Super Nintendo version is actually not that bad. Miracle is shit. I mean, come on, look at the fucking character design. It's a fucking lowly in a fucking weird skimpy outfit with cat ears and like what the fuck. Like I think Welch said it best when she said that she looked like someone just walked into an anime convention. That's pretty much what she is. Like she's literally the most anime character in the entire series. Pretty much, that's what she is. It's like the stereotypical anime lowly cat girl. And she's annoying as all hell. So yeah, shit tier for that reason. Midas is the best character in the Star Ocean series to date. Love this guy. He's a stubborn, old, cynical, pissed off guy who just basically wants to mess about and get up to like roguery and all of that. He's a lovable rogue, that's what he is, but he's also a cynical, stubborn old man, and I just love that. He kind of reminds me of myself a little bit in that regard. But yeah, like he's just kind of like, he's kind of like a prick, but that's the point. Like he's a dickhead, but that's why you love him. A bit like Albert, but in a different way, in the sense that he's kind of like, he just doesn't give any fucks. He gives absolutely no fucks, and doesn't sugarcoat anything, and is stuck in his ways and is very stubborn. But he also has a childlike aspect to him, and he's not afraid to let his inner child go. And that's one thing I really respect about Midas, like the fact that he's just got that inner child and he's not afraid to let it go. And like, you know, he just gets very obsessive over things, and when his interests pop up, like he completely just goes nuts. Like he's just a really well written and interesting character, and just dominates everybody else in my opinion. And his fucking finisher is fucking Spicule. He has his own version of Spicule, and the funny thing about it is with his fucking finishing move, his batting move, is he will not just do it once, he'll do it multiple times. It's just like ridiculous. It's like, it's bad enough having been hit by Spicule in Star Ocean 2 and Star Ocean fucking 5, but in this game, he basically does it multiple times to the enemies, and it's so satisfying. Like, definitely the best character in Star Ocean to date, for sure. He's awesome. Midas is amazing. Miki is, well, she's the main heroine of Star Ocean 5. Her character design looks a bit weird. I've always said that. I don't think she's lame. She's actually a pretty decent healer. She does the job well. The only problem is she dies very quickly. But she's one of the better healers in the series, and you know, she's an alright character. I think she fits in with the cast, and she plays her role well enough. I just don't think she's the most interesting character out there, so I'm gonna put her at OK tier. I think she's alright. I know I give her a lot of shit just simply because she looks weird and doesn't have a nose, but you know, it's all in jest. I don't think she's really that bad. Now, Millie on the other hand, I put her in lame tier. I think she's just kind of bland. Like, you think Miki is bland? Well, Millie is far worse. Like, it's funny really, because you have Ilya, who is like this really interesting character, and then the other, like, actual female lead of the game is boring and lame and just generic and stereotypical. It's just like, what a lame character. I mean, she's the healer, sure, but why use her when you can just use Joshua? And I'd rather have Joshua because, well, he has an interesting dynamic with Sears. So, yeah. It's no brainer really, isn't it? Mirage is a good character. I like Mirage. I mean, she kicks ass, like Cliff. She's basically the female version of Cliff. How can you not like Mirage? The only thing is that Cliff is stronger and better in battle, whereas she's just kind of like an afterthought. She's basically just like a carbon copy of Cliff, but not as good in combat. But I think she's a likable enough character. She could have used more screen time, but she's got a nice enough personality. She's a very relaxed character and very composed character, and she's one of those characters that's really easy to talk to, and is really approachable, which is kind of surprising given the fact that she's a Clausian, but she's also the character that you don't want to mess with. So I really like her. She's a really good character for that reason. She's a bit like Chisato in that regard. Easy to get along well with, but you don't want to mess with her. So I'm going to put her here. Miria is a big slag, and she's not really that good in battle either. She gets lame tier. Nell is, as I say, she's one of those characters that I never really got to experience because I didn't actually pick her in the latter section of Star Ocean 3. But she's just kind of like a noble knight sort of character, even though she's technically a ninja. But like, I think she plays the role well enough. She's kind of the same sort of thing as Letitia. She's a likable character. I think she's cool, but as I say, I don't think she's the best character, but I think she's likable. I think she's a cool character. Nina is basically the worst character in Star Ocean 6. But I don't think she's that bad. I just think she's the worst character in Star Ocean 6, like, straight up. And that says a lot about how good the characters in Star Ocean 6 are, the fact that none of them got lame tier. Because she's not really that terrible. She's kind of unique in battle, but there's really not much to say about her as a character. I mean, she's basically like the character who has these weird arm animation movements for some reason. Like, what were the developers thinking with those over-exaggerated gestures? Like, what the fuck, game? And she also is clearly she's clearly like the fusion of Ryza and Sophie from the Atelier series combined. That's basically what her character design is. Like, you can see it from a mile away. Like, it's so fucking obvious what they were trying to do with this character. But yeah, not much else to say really. Noel, yet again, another character that's just kind of okay. He's better in Blue Sphere. He is. But a lot of people don't really like him because, well, he's just kind of there and he's like a low tier caster. But I don't think he's that bad. I mean, he's alright, but as I say, he's okay. But I use him in Blue Sphere. I do, because, well, in Blue Sphere, well, I'm not going to get too much into it, but you can't use a certain character in Blue Sphere. And a certain character got nerfed, so I used him instead because he's actually pretty decent in Blue Sphere, but I don't really think that he's amazing, so I'm going to put him in okay tier. Oprah is in awesome tier. Oprah is one of the best characters in Star Ocean 2 by far. Like, it's basically Diaz and Oprah. Those are the two best characters. Like, Oprah is so fucking good in Star Ocean 2 because not only does she have, like, really good attacks like Alpha at 1 and the Hyper Launcher, which are both fucking amazing and really effective in battle and can stun lock enemies, but at the same time she's the best healer in the game because she has Healing Star, which she can use instantly without any cast time, and it heals a ton of health, which can be used multiple times in succession to just constantly heal everybody. She's like an all-rounder that can do everything, and she's basically a must-have character to me in combat, just simply because of how flexible and useful she is. She's just amazing. And as a character, well, I think she's likable. I mean, she's not really as amazing as Elena as a character, but I think she's likable enough. She's kind of just chasing after Ernest the whole game, and she kind of likes to play tricks on people, and she likes to drink booze like Ilya. She's basically like Ilya in a way. So, yeah, same sort of character. Pepita is, well... And here's... Do you want to know the sad thing? Guess what ending I got in Star Ocean 3? This bitch's ending! I got fucking Pepita's ending! I hope you all feel fucking sorry for me, because I wanted to get fucking Cliff's ending, because Cliff's awesome. But the thing about it is with Star Ocean 3 and how its private action system works, you never know what character you're going to get the ending of, because the private actions are done with random NPCs for the most part, not with the actual characters. However, I will actually do this now. I'm going to pull up to lame tier, and you know why? Because I do think she's actually quite useful in battle. I do. I don't think she's absolutely obnoxious like fucking Miracle. She's actually useful because she can actually use Power Dance, which can power up Maria so that Maria can spam Scar Beam and be more powerful. And she has other moves that are useful. Like, she's got a good balance between HP and MP, so she's a tank. Yeah, this bitch is a fucking tank. You'd think this guy would be the tank, but no. This is the real tank of Star Ocean 3 because she has a balanced HP and MP pool. And that's so important when you have to deal with MP damage and MP death in this game, so having her in the party is actually surprisingly good. But I don't think she's impressive enough to go any higher. But I do think that she's better than Adre at the very least in that regard. But yeah, like, I actually used her in the party. I just think that as a character, she's kind of lame. Like, she's not gonna get any higher than that. I'd probably put her at the top of lame. I don't think she's the lamest, but she's lame. Now, Perichi, like, she's pretty shit. But the one thing about Perichi is that you want to get Perichi in the party, and for good reason. If you play in the original Super Famicom version of Star Ocean 1, you want to put her in the party just simply so that you can get the bunny, which essentially allows you to roam the fields without running into enemy encounters. And because you'll be wanting to backtrack, do like PAs and stuff and all of that, and backtrack to different areas to do item creation and get stock for item creation and all that lot, you'll definitely want the bunny whistle that you get for getting her in the party, because it lets you basically roam around without having to deal with enemy encounters. Now, in Star Ocean First Departure, it's not as essential because the world map isn't a maze of like areas which you can easily get lost in. So it's not really as essential because everywhere's so close together in that game. But in the original, she's essential, just simply for that. But as a character, I just kind of think she's kind of shit. She's like Miracle, same sort of thing, pretty much. Now, Thea is a character that I never really messed with much. I mean, obviously she's in the party, like, at a certain point, but I mean, she's alright. I don't think she's that bad. I just never really bothered with her all that much. She kind of looks like Casca from Berserk a little bit, like, but I think she's a good character. Like, she has some good interactions with Sears, and like, I think that she's a good character. It's just that I need to really play with her more, I guess. But from what I've seen, I'd say she's definitely good. I care so little about this character that I completely forgot her name. It's Fessus, that's it. I'm getting confused between Perichi and Fessus. Which one is which? I think that pretty much says it all, really. I mean, like, I tried to give her a shot in Star Ocean 2 when I replayed on my Universe playthrough, but she just wasn't that great. I mean, she has her own, like, helm splitter move, but, like, I just don't care about this character at all. Like, I mean, she has machinery and she can make her own weapons, but so can Opa, and Opa's just better. And plus, if you get her, you miss out on Bowman. So why would you bother getting her? Why? There's just no point. Like, what a waste of a character. Raymond. Now, Raymond is, without a doubt, the best protagonist in the Star Ocean series. Hands down. Not even a contest. But how good is he? I'm putting him at awesome tier. He's like the Cliff of Star Ocean 6. Same personality, you know, although Cliff's got some funnier one-liners, but he's the same sort of personality. Like, he's very laid-back dude, one of the boys, you know. How can you not love Raymond? Like, Everybody Loves Raymond is literally a fucking show, so, you know, obviously you've got to love Raymond, especially Star Ocean 6 Raymond. Like, he's awesome, definitely, plain and simple. Like, he's not quite on the same level as these guys. I suppose Raymond's not really a dude, but, you know, but he's still awesome in his own right. Like, he's just a great character, and I really like playing as him. Like, it was refreshing to actually have a protagonist who isn't a complete and utter idiot or wet sponge for once. But yeah, like, great protagonist. We need more protagonists like this. We definitely do. Okay, Raimi is like, I don't know, like, she's a typical tsundere character, isn't she? I never really particularly cared for Raimi at all. I think out of all, like, the female leads, she's kind of like, I think she's just kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, really annoyingly generic. I mean, she's good in battle, she is, but she's just so generic and tsundere and just kind of annoying. Like, I don't know, like, she belongs in lame tier just simply for that. I think Millie's a little bit better than her in a lot of ways, because she can at least heal. Like, the thing about it is that Raimi's good in battle, but she's just, as a character, like, she's just annoying and bitchy all the time. It's just like, come on. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, there are moments in Star Ocean 4 that have edgy and compromising positions, but come on, she overreacts to everything. Like, she needs to get over herself. Seriously. Now, Next up we have the best fucking lowly character in the series. And she's okay. Which makes sense because she's a fucking lowly. What are you gonna expect from a lowly other than like nothing special? A lowly character, unless it's like the two fucking twins from Covenant of the Plume, then I'm not interested. Those twins from Covenant of the Plume were something else, but Relia's just kind of there. She's just a lowly that manages to not be as annoying as these three. So that's an achievement. So for that she gets okay tier. Okay, so Reina. Here's the thing about Reina. She has the hots for fucking Deus. And she's basically kind of like two-timing Claude for Deus all the time, which kind of makes her like a bit unlikable just simply for that, just simply because she's messing with Claude by constantly being with fucking Deus all the time. And Claude gets all the flack for like getting pissed off and jealous about that, but she's the one running off with Deus, and like, you know, I get it, like he's a childhood friend, but come on, like the way she always rushes to Deus all the time, like there's clearly something off there. Like she kind of is her own worst enemy in that regard, because she's creating a fucking love triangle between him and Deus isn't even interested. That's the silly thing. Like Deus just sees her as just some chick that he knew as a kid. But yeah, like ultimately, like that's the one annoying thing about Reina. Other than that though, I do think she's a well-written character, and I think she is better than Claude overall. I just can't put her as good just simply because of that. Like, come on. Like, stop messing with guys' heads, you know? Like, honestly, like... And the thing about it is, and here's the thing, in the ARMS tournament where Deus and Claude are fighting, like, she's watching this ARMS tournament thinking, what have I done? Like, what sort of shit have I started? And it's just like, you know, but it is her fault because she ran off with Deus. Like, she caused it all, and I suppose that kind of redeems her a little bit when she kind of like has that sort of like, oh no, what have I done, when the ARMS tournament happens, but at the same time it's just like, you know, I can't ignore that. Now Roddick is basically, he's basically the guy that tries to do, he tries to do his best. Like, he means well in everything he does, but he always ends up in awkward situations, you know? He's the nice guy who's just too nice. You know, he's too nice to the point that he gets himself into trouble nice. I think he's entertaining for that reason. I do. But I don't think he's like the best character ever. But I think he gets into some entertaining PAs. Like, just simply for being that guy. And I think that elevates him to good tier. He's not the best protagonist, that's Raymond, but he's probably the second best protagonist in my opinion, because his private actions are just absolute fucking gold. Roger is pretty shit, I'm gonna be honest. Like, he's basically like Leon, but even worse. Like, he's just annoying. The only good thing about Roger is that if you beat the game and don't free him from his cage in Star Ocean 3, you get an additional ending where he's still stuck in his cage at the end of the game, and I got that ending, and that's the best part about his entire character, the fact that you still see him stuck in the cage at the fucking end of the game, which is absolutely fucking hilarious, especially when you know the context of the game's story and everything that happens in it, and he's just still trapped in that cage. It is just so funny. But yeah, speaking of funny, Ronix, I'm putting him, well, I won't go that far. I'm putting him just above Roddick because, like, the dynamic between Ronix and Roddick is hilarious. Like, there's this private action in Star Ocean First Departure that is hilarious. Like, absolutely hilarious, and it involves these two. Like, multiple actually. Like, it's kind of funny. But yeah, like, he's an interesting character. I don't think he's as interesting and as fleshed out as Clear, but he's still a funny character, and he ends up in some funny moments. Like, he's supposed to be the captain of a ship, but man, like, there's some moments which are pretty wild with Ronix. So yeah, I like him. I think he's a good character. Sarah is shit. Fucking annoying character. She talks like this all the time! I'm on helium! That's basically Sarah. She's a fucking annoying character that will kill your eardrums if you basically listen to her on like a fucking headphones or like at high volume. She's basically there to ruin your ears. That's what she exists to do. She's just the most annoyingly high-pitched character, and her personality is the worst because she's a fucking idiot. Like, she's so fucking annoyingly stupid. That's the best way to describe her. She's so insufferably stupid and has a voice that is so fucking insufferably, like, helium. Like, she's literally a fucking helium connoisseur. It's like, how can you have a character that has such an annoying voice? I just don't even know. And the thing about it is the voice is terrible in both Japanese and English. She talks like this all the time! Like, and it's just like, can you please shut the fuck up? The only reason why she's not worth less than shit is because she's actually a decent healer. Like, she's on par with Miki in that regard. She's actually a decent healer, but man, do you have to listen to her talk as punishment for taking too much fucking damage in battle? She is the punishment. That's what she exists to do. To punish you for being shit at the game and needing to have a healer in the party. That's why she's the healer, because they had to pick the character that was the most annoying character ever to punish you for having to use a healer in the party. You know, like, as I say, it's like a character that is kind of like, oh yeah, you're trash at the game, so we're gonna punish you and make you look like an idiot by making you put an idiot in the party and having to listen to her fucking annoying voice the whole time where she says, very right, all the fucking time, and the fucking resurrection, you know, and the all infamous radiant lancer all the fucking time. It gets annoying. She's just so fucking obnoxious, and all of her private actions are the dumbest shit you'll ever see in your life. Like, legit the dumbest shit you'll ever see in your fucking life. Like, I swear to God, whoever wrote this character, why? Just why? Why did you do this? Why did you bring this character upon us? What sin have I committed to have to experience the idiocy of this character? Like, it's bad enough you have this character in the party, let alone this one. This one is a criminal. Downright fucking criminal. I don't know how Yoshua puts up with it. Or Eris. Like, I'm actually putting Yoshua above because I think he's handy because he's handy for longer than Eris. But, like, how do these two put up with this bitch? She's supposed to be their aunt and she's literally fucking brain dead. She's literally the biggest idiot on planet Earth. And that's why she's in shit tier, and she deserves shit tier the most. Anyways, next we have Sophia. Now, I could put her in shit tier for being the worst healer in the game, but, like, she's more tolerable than this bitch, but at the same time, like, it's literally between these two, innit? Like, Sophia is really fucking stupid. Like, she's not as dumb and idiotic as this bitch, but the thing that annoys me about Sophia is just the way that the developers handled her. Like, she could have been an okay character, she could have been here, but instead she's down here, and there's a reason why. It's because she appears at the start of the game, then disappears for so long, and by the time she comes back, so much has happened, and she's just completely almost irrelevant at that point. I mean, she is relevant briefly for one little tiny thing later on in the game, and then she's just completely irrelevant again. Her personality is just bland. She's just basically the childhood friend who just pouts all the fucking time because Fate is more interested in video games than hanging around with her, and, you know, her personality never really goes beyond that. Other than that, she's just generic fucking, like, Millie. Except Millie is actually not bad at healing. Sophia is, because she's too focused on whacking people with her fucking stick. Therefore, she gets shit tier. Fuck Sophia. Okay, so the next character I am very conflicted on. I'm just going to come out and say this is the hardest character to rank in the series. Because there's a moment in this game, and, like, where this guy does some really fucked up thing, and, like, he kind of, like, does something that is just absolutely despicable in the game. Like, I just really don't like. Like, I suppose they should really put a spoiler warning for this video because, yeah, like, man, we're getting into spoiler territory, but this guy betrays Leticia and her family, you know? He betrays Leticia and her family alongside his father and nearly has her fucking burned alive. This motherfucker gets this chick here, fucking Leticia, nearly burned alive. He's willing to do that at one point in the game. He's willing to fucking burn her alive at the request of, like, the enemy empire. And it's just so fucked up. Then you find him in a fucking prison cell and El Badge fucking punches him in the face. Which is why Albert is good tier and not fucking lame tier, because Albert, I don't fucking care. Like, you might not like his personality, but I do think he's an awesome character and I stand by him. He's one of those characters that I know people will be like, oh, he's such an asshole, but he's actually, you know, he's a genuinely good guy when he punches fucking Theo in the face for doing something really dumb. At the same time though, he does sort of like try to redeem himself, even though he doesn't fully redeem himself, but he, you know, he does save Letitia in the end from getting burned alive, so, you know, and he does join in with Albert and, like, Raymond to, like, rescue her from the wedding with, like, the Emperor's son and all that lot, so he's not all that bad, but it's just very conflicting. I'd love to put him on good tier because he's pretty awesome and he's kind of got cool moves and all that lot, but at the same time it's just like he can't really get any higher than okay for me because of that. Like, he's just very conflicting character, very conflicting. I suppose that makes him an interesting character just simply for that reason alone, but likable, well, that's kind of debatable because he does that fucking bullshit that makes me just not really fully like him. Like, how can you fully like him after that? But he does try to redeem himself, so I can't really say that he's that bad, but I can't put him any higher just simply for that. Now, Taniq Arcana is basically like Ranma, but he's good in battle. I actually use him in the pie. He's the guy that I replaced Ilya with. Not that I hate Ilya, but this guy's just so fucking good because he has a move that can instantly fucking kill enemies. And it's a move that, like, it's basically a move where he stabs an enemy with his stick, and there's kind of like this proc with it where he'll hit the enemy with his stick and then it'll show like a moon getting cut in half and it's like instant death, which is pretty awesome. And he's also got some really funny private actions, so I'm going to put him in good tier. I like Taniq, I do. Victor, and I'm not talking about Victor Delacroix from Chaos Legion. Victor Oakville is pretty good. I like this character. He's pretty awesome to play as. He plays very much like Aramat and Nell. I don't know where Nell is. There you go. Nell and Aramat. You know, he plays like a combination of them, but I think he's better than Aramat. I like his character, how he's like this loyal knight character, but at the same time, like, he's pretty cool, and he's also very modest. He's not like an egotistical prick like Leon and Roger is. You know, he's just a really nice dude, and he goes out of his way to help the cast, even though really he isn't morally obligated to. So you can't help but love him. I just, you know, he's got some really interesting private actions as well. I'm giving him awesome tier. I really like Victor a lot. And finally we have Welch. Now, I have the Star Ocean 2 Welch here, but she's also in Star Ocean First Departure. Now, here's the thing, I'm talking about the playable Welch. I'm not talking about the fucking abysmal Welch that will be somewhere around this category down here from Star Ocean 4. Fuck that Welch. This is where Welch would be if I'm talking about the Star Ocean 4 Welch. She would be right down here, worth less than shit, because she'd be right with fucking Limmel. Fuck that Welch, Star Ocean 4 Welch. But this is Star Ocean 2 and Star Ocean 1 Welch, the playable Welch. So, where does she stand in things? I mean, here's the thing. Welch has some pretty entertaining private actions, to say the least. I mean, how can she not? She's fucking Welch. And, yeah, for that reason alone, like, it's really fun to have her in the pie, just simply because you know that there's going to be some funny private actions with her. And for that reason, like, even though she's kind of annoying, she's just basically a troll. So, you can't help but like Welch from those games, just simply because of the private actions. They're just absolutely fucking comedy gold. So, yeah. That's every single Star Ocean playable character. I can't believe I managed to get through this list without losing my fucking mind, especially when it comes to these characters. Now, I'm finally going to talk about this bitch here, because I didn't talk about her before because I didn't fucking care, but I think everybody wants to know. I'm going to fucking tell you about this fucking character. Kay. Yes, Kay. I'm going to tell you about this fucking shitty character, Kay. Because this character says Kay at the end of every fucking sentence, Kay. And she says it in the most monotone and annoying voice, Kay. So she talks like this, Kay. Yes, I talk like this all the time, Kay. Yes, I am going to annoy the player, Kay. I'm going to be the most annoying character in JRPG history, Kay. I'm worth less than shit, Kay. Yeah, that's basically you. Just fucking annoying. She's supposed to be this 15-year-old fucking chick who looks like a fucking 10-year-old because anime apparently, who has this monotone fucking voice, and like it's just she summons this fucking dog from fucking hell. Like, who wrote this character? Fire them right now. They don't belong here in Triads. They do not belong in Triads. Whoever made this character thing, that person has evil intentions because this character is cursed beyond cursed. Like, I literally feel that she ruined my life back in this game. I mean, maybe not that far, but she is fucking terrible. One of the worst characters in fucking gaming by far, and that's why she deserves this tier more than anybody. Fuck Linnell. She is a fucking shit character. I mean, come on. Like, there's literally a fucking private action where she wants to fucking sleep with Edge. And then she gets fucking upset because she can't fucking sleep with Edge. It's just like, why even have a fucking cutscene like this? Why have a fucking cutscene where you're fucking kissing Fizz, who's like supposed to be a fucking, like, he's an adult dude, which makes Fizz kind of questionable, and you know, maybe he should kind of put down here because yeah. Then again, you know, one of my favorite characters in gaming, he's kind of a bit of a weird dog like that, but yeah, like, fucking, the whole fucking thing, like, her entire involvement in the game just fucking rubs me the wrong way and just pisses me off. Everything that's connected to this character is just terrible. Everything. She's just a fucking walking horror story. That's what she is. She's a walking, talking horror story that belongs in the deepest pits of fucking hell. And I hope that when she dies, which I hope is very soon, that she burns in hell forever. Because fuck this character. But yes, that's my tier list of the Star Ocean characters. Hope you enjoyed this crazy video where I talk about all of these characters. I mean, it could have been so much better had I actually put a bit more effort into like describing characters and all, but I think honestly, like, because like some characters, like, I gave more time than others, but honestly, Star Ocean characters for the most part are very simple. Like, you have these really good characters, but a lot of characters in Star Ocean, they are more or less like defined by their private actions and stuff, and they're very simple. You know, they're likable enough, but it's not like Grandia 2 where you have like characters that are really deep, and like Ryudo where you have like a lot to him. Like, but do they need to be? They're just fun characters, and that's kind of what Star Ocean is. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.